This, good morning. This is a 75-minute class. Please, if you're joining us on Facebook Live, leave a comment and I will check back with you at the end. I really can't see it until we're all finished. Okay, there we go. We are still working on our Tapas, self-discipline. What else comes to mind when you think of self-discipline or Tapas? You know, what does it bring? We can change this into a different wording or a different plane. So rather than think of it as self-discipline, perhaps think of it as perseverance or determination. What do you need today to keep your focus and attention on what matters most? So if it's self-discipline is something that we utilize to keep us on track, what else though is serving? So possibly think of how can I promote more determination in my life? One thing that really helps me is I like to say what I will do and then do what I say I'll do. When I hold myself accountable for that, in other words, if I say yes to something, I hold myself accountable to follow through. And that makes us more purposeful and more trustworthy to ourselves. That sort of discipline translates into passion and translates into tapas, heating, being on fire about something. So we don't dissipate our energy by saying we'll do something and then we don't. That really actually hurts our self-trust. And the best trust that we can develop is the trust in ourself, the trust in our word. So today, I'm going to invite you to be trustworthy in your word to yourself. We're going to start standing. In other words, think about something that you told someone you would do. I've got 2 or 3 things hanging on my plate. I like to write them down so I don't forget. But yes, there's a list. Not only promises I made to other people, but the promises I make to myself. Those are even the most important ones you can make. And today I invite you to take one action step towards making that come into play. Either start, finish, or move it along in that capacity. So if you have that in mind, we're going to really develop some self-discipline today. Self-care, caring for how you move, noticing where you feel stuck, and taking a deep breath into the body, breathing outside. Bring your awareness down to your feet as you reach up through the sky. Elongate through the body. Stretch your right arm up and then back to center. Stretch the left arm. As you inhale, come back to center and stretch the right arm. So we're just taking this side to side and getting more space in each side. This time if you stretch the right arm, we'll take it all up and over to the left. Feet a little bit more prominently together. Hips off to one side and then bring it back to center line. Tuck the tailbone by firming the low belly. Exhale over to the left. To the right, sorry. The left arm is high. And the more we extend the fingers out and plug the foot into the earth, the more open the side wall will be. tug of war, a taffy being pulled in two directions. And then come back, center. Open the heart. Exhale. Give yourself a hug. Inhale again, open through the heart, chest. Exhale. Another hug. And this time, as you open the arms, let's take the feet wide. Turn the toes out and bend the knees. So bring the hands to the knees. Drop your right shoulder in. We're beginning with just a standing sequence to warm the body. Drop the left shoulder in. So the hips are moving down. We're taking that deep release into the inner thighs. And then come back up and straighten the legs. Inhale, 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 the arms overhead. And then touching the palms together, we're going to slice through any of the annoyances that you have in your life, especially slicing through self-deception. So slice it through like a ha. Just bring the torso down. Arms come out. Inhale, 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 ha. Inhale, 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 ha. We're not going to take any deceit to ourselves. Ha. Inhale, 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 ha. Sometimes when we're making excuses for why we didn't do something, the best excuse is no excuse. And just own it, slice through it, make amends, ha, and do better. Inhale, 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 ha. What's holding you back? Ha. From getting the work done, ha. Determination, ha. Trustworthiness, ha. Being your word, ha. Bring it all in, ha. And help it defeat the excuses, the lies to yourself. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Two more. Last one. I think we pretty much took that down. Let's take the legs straight, the arms overhead high. Pause. Bring the hands down to the waist. Take a deep breath in. Find your balance and the energy in the body. Bring your awareness through the whole body. With the hips still, or the feet still wide, we'll take the hips out to the right, forward, out to the left, and back in a big circle. Oh. All the way around. Inhale, exhale to the back. If you feel the ligaments and joints, mine are saying, they're talking back to me. So definitely need to work on some joint mobility. Let's go the other direction. And eating foods that are helpful, not harmful. Reduce inflammation would be good. Turmeric tea would be awesome. Inhale, exhale. And then let's bring the feet gently together. So a little bend, jump, rotate through the ankle. If you can see that. Take it on the right side. And 9 times, let's reverse the action. And then take it to the left foot. Circle, circle, circle. It's all good things happening in the body. Circle, circle, circle. 2 more. Nice, and then release. Both feet plugged into the earth. Bend the knees just slightly. Take your hands together and rub them like you're starting a fire or you're warming up your hands. I know we don't really need to warm ourselves up with this heat that we're having, but just a little generation of heat. Place them on the knees. Circle the knees. My low back is also getting a little bit of a awakening and a stretch. So the knees, ankles, hips, all this whole area. Shake out the wrists. Rotate around through the shoulder. Forward, up, back, and down. Again, forward, lifting up. Squeeze the shoulder blades on the back. And then releasing. Take the ear towards your shoulder. Opposite arm comes all the way up. So as you're clasping, the hand that's on top is not pulling down. The head is pushing up into the hand. The hand is acting as a buffer or a holding pattern. Then release and bring the head back to center. The chin slightly retracted, so the head is in line with the spine. So you want that whole backside not to be here and then tipping. That's bad on your neck. Pull the chin back, lift up through the spine. Make sure the shoulder, hip, and knee and ankle are aligned with the ear. And we'll tilt the head over to the left. Left arm comes up and around and push the head into the hand. So we get to open the neck area all along here. Extend the fingertips out. Full breath in, full breath out. And then release, bring the head back to center. Chin tucks to the chest. Inhale, raise and exhale. Chin tucks to the chest. One more time. Bring the arms overhead as you raise the chin neutral. Exhale. Take a forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, walk your feet back into a downward facing dog. Come up high onto your fingertips here, just for a moment. So we get really strong in the fingers. And the shoulders are going to be coming forward. So let's bend the knee and tip the sit bones upward. Pull the belly towards the thighs, chest to the thighs, and sink a little bit deeper. So keep very strong and vigilant in the fingertips. Hold. Press the heels down, palms flat. One and then the other. And then gently bring your left knee to the floor. Keep the right leg out straight. Press through the back heel. And then forward through the toe. Back through the heel and forward and back. So we have this pulsation action. We'll take the right leg out from a 6 o'clock over to a 3 o'clock. Press the hips back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. All the way back. Set the hip to the heel. Take a couple of deep breaths, and you might feel this in your toe if your toe's turned under. A little screaming toe. Now as we sweep the leg back to 6 o'clock, spin or pivot on your left knee and open to the side wall, front wall. Reach the right arm overhead, bend the elbow and plant the hand behind the head. Press the head back into the hand and send the elbow forward. Full breath in, full breath out. And then release and bring the arm overhead as you raise the leg. We've been practicing this. This is a side plank, the leg elevated, so it requires a lot of balance. Tone the navel, the low belly, very strongly. Lift and hold. We'll bend the top leg, catch the foot, and press the foot back into the hand. So this whole shoulder area girdle opens straight away, wide open. 3 breaths. That's already 2. 1 more breath. And really make it matter. And then release. Leg comes down. Right arm circles to the floor. Spin the back leg to the mat. And finally lower the right knee. Take this into a little cat-cow. I feel one whole side is now vibrant and awake and alive and aware. Feels really good. We're going to do that same thing on the opposite side. Let's start from a downward facing dog. We'll stay on the strength of the hands here and then gently bring the right knee to the floor. So the left leg is still extended and it's straight. Set it back a little bit, push through the heel, and then propel yourself forward. Back through the heel and forward. Exhale, inhale. Sweep the leg now from a 6 o'clock over to 9 o'clock. Flat the foot into the earth and press the hips back to the heel. So we'll channel the energy in the inner thigh to maybe open up or wake up. Back one more time forward, hips back and hold. Hold here, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. I have my toes turned under, so I also am getting that effect of a little bit of a screaming toe. And as you come back and sweep the leg to 6 o'clock, now we're going to spin the opposite direction, right? Now we're opening to the back wall. Reach the left arm overhead, hand to the back of the head and push. So we get more open. And we're pushing back as the elbow is reaching forward. Anchor through the back foot, tone the navel, push through the standing hand. Yeah, breathe. Release the arm and extend straight up. Inhale, raise the back leg. Exhale, lower. So equal weight on the right hand or right knee. That's going to allow the float of the back leg to happen. Exhale. If you're off balance, that will be much more difficult. So readjust. Hold here, bend the knee, reach all the way around, grab the top of the foot and then press. Foot into hand, ankle, knee, and hip in the same plane. Pressing straight back, draw the ribs in, tailbone towards the back wall, and curl open. Release the leg. We'll touch down, bring your left arm all the way around. So we'll pivot back to a square, squaring the shoulders and hips to the floor. And we don't want your right foot to stay out. So bring it back and press all the way back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, glide into a plank. Exhale, back into a downward facing dog. Inhale to a plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then bring the knees to the floor. And we're going to come into dolphin, one of my favorite and also least favorite postures because of its difficulty. But I want to open the shoulders just a little bit more. And we'll take that gliding action forward and back in this posture as well. So your arms are going to be parallel to each other here on the ground. And if your palms are not square to the floor, it might be helpful if you bring the palms together and interlace the fingers. So that would be an option. This is an option. And for some people, that rotation in the lower form is not, you know, it's like here versus all the way in. So go to the degree of your own rotation, and it's the way we're built, the way we're put together. It has nothing to do with flexibility, usually. Okay, not in this case. So forearms to the floor, turn the toes under, press the mat away and lift the hips. So this is dolphin. Take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. We want to open the shoulders even more for back bendings today. And then walk your feet back just a little bit and glide into a plank so your hips are even with the shoulders. And then press back up into a dolphin and forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. Keep the legs straight. Inhale, press. Exhale, forward. 3 more. You can do it. Lift the abs. Keep the abs higher, hips higher than the shoulders, or even level. 1 more. Hold the dolphin. Walk your feet in. Bend the knees to take the pressure off the hamstrings. And then press your heels down. Hold 3. Almost there. 2. 1 more breath. And release. Bringing the knees to the earth. Tops of the feet down. Press back into child's pose. Yeah. You need to hold a few breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Come back up onto hands and knees. I invite you to use a block or not a block, a blanket or a pillow under the knees. It would be super helpful. Extend the left leg back and bring the right arm forward. So we'll lift the heel, it's level with the hip. Inhale, stretch the foot and the fingers away from each other. Raise a little higher, and then exhale, tuck the elbow and touch the knee. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, touch elbow to knee. Inhale, re-extend. 1 more time. Hold the extension, hamstring curl the back leg, and now we'll reach all the way around and catch the foot. I'm doing the hard stuff first, so we'll mellow out during the middle of class. Hold here, back bend, and some of you will think this is easy, and others of you will think this is more difficult. It is what it is. So we'll stay here. 3 breaths. 2 and 1. Release. Plant the right hand and we'll pivot back into side plank. So we were here earlier, if you remember. We'll take the side plank a step further by bringing the back foot in, pressing into the floor, right hand, left foot, and then hover your right leg. It's going to just lift, shoot it straight back to the blade of the foot. Make sure you're very anchored here. Lower the hips. Exhale, inhale, raise. Shoulder is behind the wrist. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Sweep it all the way back. Step into a downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the knees to the floor. Exhale, extend the left leg back. Is that right? No, right leg. Hip height. There we go. Left arm. That's correct. So we're starting the left arm this time. And really reaching the toe and the fingers away from each other. And then bring the elbow and knee, tuck and touch underneath. Inhale, extend, get the full height of the leg, the full extension. Exhale, tuck. Full extension forward and back. Inhale. Exhale, tuck and touch. Full extension again. Tuck and touch last time. reach and hold, hamstring curl the right leg, around, clasp the top of the foot, press the foot into the hand, open this up very strong, pull the belly in firm, hold 3, hold 2, hold 1, release, forward and back. Left hand now comes to the floor. You'll kickstand the right leg and open now back to Vasisthasana, our side plank variation, bringing the back leg in front of the standing knee. So we've got this foot anchored to the earth. That's going to be our push, so we can lift the back leg. See that? Lower back down. When I get to that point of lifting, shoot the foot back. So now your left leg is all the way straight. The hips are stacking one over the other. The shoulder is not in line with the wrist. It's behind the wrist. The shoulder stacks on shoulder, reach to the sky. Exhale, lower the hips to the floor. Inhale, raise up and over. Exhale, lower hips. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, lower. Inhale to the floor. Step all the way back, downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Step or jump your feet forward to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down, and then come all the way to standing. So push the floor away, reach the arms to the sky. Keep the hips in line with the ribs, not in front of. Sometimes they like to bow forward. We stand up and we clench the glutes. So pull back, reach up. Just be aware if you're in that habit, because it's very common. Hold here. And then on your next exhale, release forward. We'll take a half sun salutation. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, round it down and in. Inhale all the way to standing. Once again, we're really rooting down through the floor. Remember, the hips are in line with the heels, not in front of. Exhale, hands to the heart. And then we'll take it into a standing sequence. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back with the right leg in a low lunge, bringing the hips towards the floor. Exhale. Inhale, lift the hips away from the floor. Exhale, hips towards the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time slowly, and then we'll do 10 times very fast. Here we go with that fast. Inhale, exhale. Three more. Two more. Last one. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. And step all the way forward. Back foot comes in to meet your front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, all the way to standing. Palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we're doing some familiar movement that we've been doing all month. I'm putting it together in a different sequential order, just to see how that feels in your body. Inhale, let's reach up. Exhale, forward fold. And this is all about opening the posterior chain all the way down the back side of the leg. Inhale, step back with the left leg this time. Exhale, lower the hips down, and then we'll slowly raise the hips on an inhale and slowly lower the hips on an exhale. Inhale, the hips lift. Exhale, the hips lower and the knee bends. One more time slowly. And then we'll take it 10 times fast, beginning with the inhale, up, exhale. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. Last one. Step back, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky. Inhale. Bend the knee and open the hip. This time we get to really feel the inner thigh. Now get some love and attention. Step on through. Right foot comes forward. Back foot comes forward. Inhale. Lift, exhale. Round it down and in. Maybe go a little bit deeper there. Inhale all the way to standing. Palms together. Exhale to the forehead. Bring the palms to the lip. And then to the heart. And then all the way down in a diamond shape on the belly. So here, once again, release the arms. Inhale, wide overhead. Exhale to the forehead. Lips, Durga, Tapas, self-discipline. Discipline in the heart, our minds. Mind, speech, heart, and body. Release. And we'll do a second set, stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale. Purposely extend, root down. Exhale, purposely dive forward. Heart open, hands to the floor. Inhale, purposely lift to flat back. Step back with the left leg. Press the heel into the mat and come into a side angle, form to the thigh. Reaching the left arm over, catch the back of the head, and then press head into the hand. Big stretch, deeper bend in the front knee. Reach up, come into warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Exhale back into warrior two, side angle. Form to the thigh. Inhale, all the way up and over, reversing the warrior. And then we'll come back to the floor, touching inside the ankle. Lift back up into reverse, straighten the front leg. Come through a vertical line of energy and move into triangle pose. So there's a lot of movement through that whole system. And we'll hold here for 3 or 4 breaths. You can bring a block to the inside or outside of the ankle. So that helps lift the torso slightly more. The sacrum and the spine in the same line of energy. So if I bend more here, see how that's out of alignment? If I bend more, it needs to be in the hip pocket, this direction. So I flatten the curve in the spine. It's like we're trying to flatten the curve in COVID. Flatten the curve in the spine. Right here. That's already 5 breaths. Let's step your left foot or left hand to the floor or block. Step your back foot in maybe 6 inches. And then re-stabilize through the feet. So your right toes are pointing forward. Your left foot is maybe just slightly turned out, not much. Blocks on either side, if you have them, or something to help support you. And if you have a chair in front of you, that's a very handy way, a useful way to use a chair. So I'll just grab my kitchen chair here. Hands on the chair, I like this one a lot. So now I can be upright, bend both knees, take the sit bones back so I get flat, even almost a curve in the lower lumbar. And then push the feet into the earth, push that outer back heel, straighten the front leg, and now we're in pyramid pose. Inhale here, exhale, bend your elbows and lower the torso slightly. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, if you have hands on the blocks, you'd bring your nose towards the shin. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, chin to the shin. Hold. So the hands can be on the block, they could be on the chair, any way that's supportive to you without dumping in
hamstring. Keep the leg very strong and steady. Hold. One more breath. And raise the torso again. So it's a flat back. Keep your left hand on a block. Bring it slightly closer to your right ankle. And now we're going to open to the right. A little revolving happening in the torso. Little is the key word here. And my arm's not going behind me here. The arm is following the trajectory of the shoulder. And it's slightly helping me lift, but they're not even stacking shoulder on shoulder yet, because that rotation is quite a lot for the body. So take it at a pace that's meaningful to you. And then release to the floor. Bend the knees, step your back foot in. Inhale, half lift. Move this out of the way. You could still use the chair. So the chair would be half lift. Exhale, drop it in and down. We should feel quite an unevenness now between the right and left sides. So we'll bring that all the way back up to standing. And bring the hands to the forehead again, the lips, the heart, body, making those connections. Release, inhale overhead. Second side, exhale, forward fold. If you recall, we're going to step the right leg back, spin the heel to the floor. Now I'm actually get to face you, which is my favorite, my preference. Side angle, so the elbows to the thigh. And we're reaching the right arm up and over. Bend the elbow behind the head, press the head into the hand. Really open that up. Big space. And lift into warrior two, reversing the warrior, right arm down. Left arm extends up and over. Inhale back through side angle. Exhale, inhale, all the way into reverse warrior. And then exhale, touch down inside ankle to the block or floor. Inhale, bring it all the way back up. So a lot of work for the legs. We'll straighten the front leg and come into Trikonasana. A big shift. The hips back, ribs forward. And that may or may not happen, but we're still working in that direction. See what is possible. I'm possible is even in the word impossible. I am possible. Awesome. One more breath. This is my favorite pose because it just feels good all the way around. It's not one of those that comes and goes or it feels yucky. And maybe you have a favorite pose like that. It might not be Trikonasana because we're all built differently. So we'll step the back foot in and we're squaring the hips. That means your right hip actually comes towards the earth and you press through the outer edge of your back heel. Lift again, bring your chair in or use blocks. And then exhale, take the forehead towards the shin. Inhale, lift. Now when I say towards, if you come this far and then you have to bend the knee to bring it in, you could do that, but make sure you re-straighten the leg, re-extend through the spine, and then exhale. So we don't want to keep you cramped up right here. Inhale, extend, and now keep the legs straight and strong, and just bring the chest towards the thigh as much as you can without bending the legs. So you could use the blocks at any height, and bring the forehead all the way in. So we feel that deeper connection and opening in the back of the hamstring. So on one side, and then we've got this whole back side because we're in a forward fold asymmetrically, but we are. Slide the block so it's next to the inner ankle. Plant your right hand, pressing down, open to the left. And now we're in a twisting Trikonasana, twisting triangle pose. The back heel is going to want to come up and your knee is going to want to waver. So keep pressing the thigh up to the sky and back. Hold it steady. 2 more breaths. Shift the hand to the foot or to the floor or even outside the left ankle. Okay, and don't go there if you don't have the balance, right? Stay at a progression that's useful and helpful. I'm just showing those of you who have done this for a while another option. Bring the hands back to the floor, bending the knees, shift onto the front foot, both feet come together. Inhale, raise a little bit, exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, come all the way to standing. Palms together, exhale, hands to the heart. So this sequence has a little bit of everything. We do some arm strengthening. We have the standing postures that we just finished. Then we've got deep hamstring openers, which we just finished. And then we've got strengthening of the core and the back. So we've been halfway through that. We'll do the other half here. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Regular chaturangas. You'll jump back, pause, and exhale, lower down. Inhale to low cobra. Exhale back to downward facing dog. I think I'm going to take this whole thing off. It keeps dangling into the microphone. I don't think that's working very well. There we go. So we're in from downward dog. 5 push-ups. 5 times we'll come into our chaturanga and then we'll push back up. We're not going to go into that low cobra portion of it. Just an arm strengthener. So come to a plank posture here, and the toes are going to propel you forward. The heels pull you back, forward and back. Get that pulsation action. Now, can you push forward and then bring the knees to the floor and keep that energy moving forward? So you're reaching the crown of the head, super subtle. As you bend the elbows, 1 inch, 2 inch. Now stay with me, hug the elbows in. Your fingers need to be, your feet need to be as wide as your mat. My pinky finger's touching the edge of my mat. If you're in here and you're trying to do this, you're going to take it up into your trapezius. It's a different muscle. It's okay to work that muscle, but it's probably strong already. So let's take it into the tricep, where we might need more building, and the back. And then we're going to press back up. We're going to, I love my speech. It's not working so well. And then back into a child's pose. And we'll do it again. So we'll do this 4 more times. Inhale, keep moving forward, keep the hips elevated. There's so much going on. Bend the elbows and press back up into a child's pose. That's 2. Inhale, pull the hands back, the forehead comes forward, the torso lowers down, and then press back up into a child's pose. It's interesting, by the time I get to number 4, I feel like taking my knees off because my arms are already strengthening. So you can take your knees off and then challenge yourself. If you like, go back into a downward facing dog versus child pose. And for the last one, coming forward, your toes are pushing you forward as the elbows bend. Lower, 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 hold, hold, hold. Press back up. Use your abs. And a downward facing dog. And then we're going to come all the way onto our belly and work a different set of core muscles. So coming forward this time, lower. Release. Okay, whew. That's so much work. Let's take your arms by your side so they get a chance to rest. Just a little bit, palms to the mat. Big breath in, exhale, press into the tops of the feet. So much so that your kneecaps lift off the ground, your knees lift off the ground, then pull the kneecaps up towards, with your quadriceps, lift them. Okay, tuck the tailbone. And it's more of a tucking of the sit bone, so we go back, not squeezing in. So I don't want this, that turns your feet out, and you'll feel your ankles roll in, the heels roll in. So roll the heels upward, press through the tops of the feet. Lengthen the low back by tucking the pubic bone to the earth. Then raise the legs. Hold and squeeze the inner thighs. That's an inhale. Exhale, lower the tops of the feet. Inhale, raise. Exhale, lower the tops of the feet. Inhale, raise. So you stay there on the ground. I'm just watching. Lower the tops of the feet. One more time. You can do it. Inhale, raise. And exhale, lower. Okay, now we'll keep the tops of the feet into the floor. You're still supine or prone on the belly. Arms at your side. Inhale, raise the head, neck, and shoulders. So just the top half lifts. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, head, neck, and shoulders come off the floor. If you want to float your arms, that's also an option. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, raise. Exhale, that's already 3. Twice more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Shake the hips side to side. The legs on the ground, the torso's on the ground, and you're just breathing evenly. So much effort. So this is the posterior chain that we are strengthening. The hamstrings, the low back, the erector spinae muscles, the shoulder blade, scapula area, and hopefully not the shoulders. Okay, that's the hard part here. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears, broad across the clavicle. Then bring your arms straight out in a T shape. So I'll show you this. So we're still on the belly. Arms come out, bend at the elbow and slide your forearms so they're in a goalpost. Inhale, tuck the tailbone. Again, sit bones towards the heels. Raise the legs off the earth. Squeeze the inner thighs, hold, and then inhale, bring the whole torso with the arms elevated off the earth. Exhale, lower down, touch the forehead. Inhale, lift. There's no rest. Exhale, touch the forehead. We're not releasing. Inhale, lift. Your back legs stay up. Back legs stay up. Lower the torso. Inhale, lift. The legs are still elevated. Exhale, torso touches. Inhale, lift. Last one. It's already 5. Inhale, lift. Hold. And exhale. Come back to the earth. Okay. Hard to talk through that one because we're definitely working. And I want to just lay on the floor for a while. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's bend the right leg. Take a hold of the top of the foot. Draw the heel towards the glute. So we've been doing this particular quad opener for the last month where we're supine. For most people, this is the most accessible. If we're doing it correctly, you'll really feel a strong opening in the front of the thigh and through sometimes the hip flexor if the quad is open enough. So the knee stays down, the heel comes in, and you might slide your forearm underneath you, and hopefully you're still working to open that quad. It takes a good 10 or 15 breaths, and we're already probably there as I'm talking. Then release the foot. You get all the way back and switch sides. So the forearm again is supporting you, forehead on the forearm, Bend your left knee, clasp the top of the foot, and draw the heel in. This is a gentle, not a forced. Your knee's not way out here. Keep the knee parallel, thighs parallel to each other. And breathe. And if you're not feeling this stretch, you want to pick it up. You can open the torso forward. Keep the same alignment. The knees are parallel to each other. Shoulder blades on the back. Chest is open. Again, a good 10 to 15 breaths here. We're almost there. Let's stay here for just another few breaths. Get a little more grounded with the pubic bone. Draw the low belly in. So we increase the efficiency or effectiveness, efficacy of the quad opener just by tucking the tailbone. And then a gentle release. That leg also comes back and all the way down. Okay, so we're not quite finished. I know you would think that lying on your belly would be peaceful and relaxing, but we're working muscles that don't necessarily work all the time. So bring your arms into that airplane, full locust pose, lifting the legs and torso. Hold here. So full locust. Bend the knees, one or both, catch the foot into bow. So you can go both legs, or you could go single leg with the arm, opposite arm and leg extended for 3 breaths here. That's already 3. If you're doing single leg, then switch the leg that you're grabbing. And if you're doing double leg, you're still holding. You're still holding both feet. And if you're holding both feet and you'd like it to rock it to the side, this is something we've been working towards. A little more opening for the shoulder. Press into the feet, lift it back to center, rock it the other direction. Okay. And come back to center. And lower. All the way down. Release the feet. And take a breath, hips release. And then take the hands to even with the chest, and we'll push our way back up, taking the hips over the knees. And that's where I'll stop. So my hands are going to come forward more. And I'll take this all the way into a heart melt, Anahatasana, just a releasing, lengthening of the side body, the arms stretched way out, the hips going the opposite direction. Take a full breath. See if you can ride the wave up the side bodies with the breath, through the back body. And it's okay to bring the elbows to the earth as well. And then everybody, let's just take the hips back to the heels in child's pose. So we move this in a little more comfortable way to release the whole low back from all the back bends we did just now. Oh, my favorite. Releasing. Yeah, heads to the floor. Breathe in and breathe out, gentle, freely. And then walk the hands back towards your knees. So we'll sit upright onto the heels, Vajrasana or Thunderbolt pose. I'd be so happy to know that we're almost to the floor, not quite, but almost. Interlace the fingers. Bring the palms to the heart, thumbs extended. The lace is at the knuckle, the first knuckle, not deep into the palm, just at the first knuckle. Vajra Pradama, this is the unshakable trust mudra.
Where are you being true to your word and true to yourself? That builds trustworthiness. This mudra can help you access that in times that you want to make excuses, waver, or say, I didn't say that. Like, it's upsetting not only to the people around you, but also upsetting in your own force field. It weakens your force field. And then you have to struggle to keep your power in an unhealthy ways. So if we just admit and decide to not make excuses, to be our word, that's where you start to step into your personal power. And go ahead and release the hands. Okay, so let's just do this last one in a side plank. Let me think. No. Okay, I'm going to take you into this uneven balance, but from a downward facing dog. We're prepped for it because we've done everything we needed to do to get there. So we'll start in a downward facing dog, follow the progression. We'll take the left leg to the sky. On an inhale, bend the knee, open the hip. So the foot is actually going over to the right side and pointing towards your right shoulder. Okay, the knee is lifting high. Your standing foot, I want you to shift the heel in slightly so the toes slightly turned out. Push the floor away with your left hand till your right hand becomes a little light. So now we're on our left hand, right foot, and our left foot's elevated, right hand is straight out. Okay, just hold the balance. If you'd like to reach around and take a hold of the foot, and then press into the foot. That would be the challenge, the option, the opportunity. Take the progression at any stage here, and then come back down to the earth, the knees to the floor. Take a little rest. And if you're playfully tapping into that energy, you can stay playful with it a little bit. Let's take the second side. So come back into a downward facing dog. This is a more difficult posture for sure. It relies on so many different things being supported. The abs, your core has to be strong. Your arms have to be strong. The weight distribution equally dispersed. So let's take the right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. My left toes are slightly turned out. I mean, to just maybe a couple degrees, slightly. So the heel slightly in. It will feel a little bit awkward, but it gives you more footprint. Then I'm going to really push down hard through the right hand to get the action of the lift through the belly. So my left hand has some lightness to it, and I can actually lift it off the ground. Okay, if I'm lifting and reaching back, I might touch the foot. It might be there. It might be just a couple of inches away. If you do happen to catch the foot, you can push the foot into the hand. It's super easy to come out of this pose too. And just play a little bit with the uneven balance of it all. And when you're ready, you bring both knees to the floor, sit back on your heels to child's pose. Rotate through the wrist or take an open and close fist action. And then upright yourself to kneeling. We'll bring the feet all the way through. And if you want to go back through some videos on my YouTube channel, Linda Black Yoga, you will see some this routine, one of which was the pumping of the belly. We're going to forego that at this point and just take it all the way onto your back and hug the knees into the chest. Interlace the fingers and then press the knees into the wrist so we get a release of the wrist slightly. Shoulders are down, head is relaxed, jaw is relaxed. Extend the left leg into the floor. And this is a similar sequence to what we've been doing. The right knee draws into the chest. And then take it up to the sky. Clasp behind the hamstring, push forward into the hand. And then release it. Inhale, move the hand to a different area of the hamstring, push forward again. Exhale, release and repeat. Release. This time the hand comes to the calf. Gently draw the leg towards you. Maybe give some isometric contraction so we can develop the courage in the hamstring to let go. Like the hamstring's so not wanting to let go. It just struggles to give control to anybody else. I mean, where in your life do you feel like the hamstring? No, I can't let go. But if we let go, there's this beautiful extension happening that we wouldn't otherwise enjoy. Where are we gripping a vice grip? Let's bring the forehead to the shin. And release the torso back to the earth and take the leg out at a diagonal. So a lot of friends, and I do mean 90% of you, are going to want to bend the left knee so the foot's flat on the floor. Doesn't that just take the anxiety out of this whole situation here where we've got the inner thigh on fire, we've got the hamstrings on fire, and now it can be a little more open and increase the intensity as we breathe versus being here and struggling with the intensity. I hope that makes sense. Bend your right knee, cross the knees over each other. So you've got right over left, and we're gonna hug the knees towards you. Gomukhasana, or a cow base pose, and we're supine. Now again, I've shown this several different ways. So friends, if you have tight hips, bulky calves, bulky hamstrings, then bring the ankle across the thigh and make this accessible. So as you bring the knee in, this is eye of the needle. You can still feel the same effort and efficacy for opening the right hip. This, for me, is more efficient. So I get more stretch, right? And some friends are not going to feel it because they simply can't bring the knees in. So if you're one of those, let's bring the ankle across the knee. Honor your anatomy, honor where you are at. Let's everybody bring the left foot down, drop the knees over to the left. We increase the opening on the hip, right arm comes out. Full deep breath in, full deep breath out. One more. Bring it all back to center. We're going to uncross the legs. Take the feet to the sky, and then holding on to the shins, you're going to push the shins in and take your legs wide or thighs wide. So try to push against the hands. Push, 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 and then release and take the legs wider. Push, 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 push. And release, take the legs wider. Press again. And the legs even wider until they're all the way extended out. Now the hands come on top of the calf and gently press down. Now press up into the hands. Now we're doing isometric contraction differently. Exhale, release. Press again. Exhale, release. Oh, yeah. And then bring the knees back into center. Extend the right leg to the earth. Left knee comes into the chest. Unfold the knee straight up to the sky. Hold the hamstring and press forward with the leg. Release. Take the hand in a different area. And again, this time all the way up to the calf. Press. Okay, friends, if the leg is bent, then we need to bend the bottom leg and straighten the top leg. This is where we're at. If it's still bent, bring your hand down to the calf. Straighten the leg. This is where you want to be. We straighten the leg that's in the air, no matter what. Okay, don't try to bring it in with a bent knee. Straighten the leg. Start with the straight leg. We're training the leg to open up. And this is not training it. Okay, we've already been there. Ah. Now, if it's straight and you're holding the ankle, the calf, bring it towards the forehead. Shaking. Lower the torso and gently open the knee to the side. Now, once again, this knee is going to want to be bent. Okay, this is fine. Bend this knee, but also bend the standing leg, and then try to push the foot outward against an invisible force that will help straighten the leg. Help straighten the leg. It doesn't need to go all the way straight. Okay, when you're in the side motion, work with your anatomy. And then bring the knee back to center. I know I harp on it, but I see so many in my classes, so many people, so many bodies. We're all built differently, and we're trying to like fit the pose to our body. And it's the other way around. Fit your body. I'm sorry, we're trying to fit our body to the pose or the way we think it should look. It's the other way around. It's fit the pose to your anatomy. Fit the pose to work on your anatomy, and you'll have much more efficiency. The effectiveness will be greater. So that holds true here. I'm crossing left knee over right. And for me, I can pull the knees all the way in, take the ankles wide, and I am feeling a beautiful stretch in both hips. Now, if that's not happening for you, okay, take the ankle to the knee and try this one. For me today, this is just not happening. It's not working for me. So I'm going to favor cow face over eye of the needle. Do you see where we get to fluctuate just a little bit? Yeah, I mean, this is your practice. It needs to be meaningful. It needs to be honest. You need to be able to trust yourself. Let's take the right foot down. Drop the knees over to the right. The left arm comes out. Roll the head side to side. And when you're ready, bring the knees back to center, into the armpit. Let's take a happy baby. So we'll take a hold of the feet, the hands, inside or outside, whatever grip works for you. Push the feet up into the hands. And then give it a little side to side love. And then release. Let's come into Shavasana. Any form of Shavasana that feels right to you. So the first Shavasana that comes to mind is the one where the legs are just extended to the pockets of the mat, the arms are out, and we have the heart and head and hips even. The second one that comes to up the wall, and because it's such a hot day, for me, that's the one I want to take. So I'll have to situate myself next to a wall. And if you are next to a couch, you could do the same thing where the hips are next to the couch and the legs drape over the seated part of the couch. So the legs just bend and drape over the couch. I'm going to do legs up the wall and use a blanket underneath the sacrum and support for the low ribs, not the whole ribs. The blanket should be supporting the low back, the sacrum, the ribs, not necessarily the tailbone. So this is so comfortable. As soon as you get into it, your body will go, yeah. If it's uncomfortable, take regular Shavasana. And let yourself relax deeply and fully. This is a most important posture. So if you are tempted to get up and after a minute, pause and allow yourself the freedom and the luxury to connect. Connect with your heart, connect with your purpose, connect with your trust. Can your body trust that you will nourish and nurture it in a loving way? One more minute. Allow yourself to release fully, completely into the earth. Lengthen your in-breath. Just allow the exhale to trace through the body and through the extremities and start to move the fingers and toes, ankles and wrist. And a gentle drawing of the knees into the chest so you can roll to one side curled Give yourself a hug of gratitude. I know we've been talking about self-discipline and some of the attributes that can help us tap into self-discipline. One of those is determination. So I have a little thought to leave with you about determination. And be determined in your focus to an attention on what matters most. Hypervigilant. Determination is the power of intent that drives our dreams. It is the strength of will to act with resolve. We focus our energy on purpose and persevere until we meet our goal. Determination is the commitment to follow through until we accomplish our goal or purpose. We care about something so much that even when difficulties arise, even when obstacles are in our path and things don't come easy, we keep on keeping on. If one path doesn't work, we try another way. We don't allow ourselves to get distracted or go off track. I mean, that takes a lot of discipline. We complete the tasks we choose to do. And remember, this is key. You're choosing to do something and letting yourself down when we go off track. So choose what you're determined, and with determination, you will succeed. And that's my thought for the day. If you're not seated, come to seated. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope you find joy in every step of the way. Namaste. Thank you, my live Facebook friends. Please leave a comment.